Today, John Edwards walked out of a court a free man. It took 9 days of deliberations and a wrenching false start, but a jury found him not guilty on one count, but they could not agree on the 5 others, so the judge declared a mistrial.
While I do not believe I did anything illegal or ever thought I was doing anything illegal, I did an awful lot that was wrong.
The verdict, as full of drama as the trial itself, leaves open the possibility of Edwards being retried, but that seems unlikely. But even a decision in his favor is a bittersweet victory for John Edwards, a man who has seen his personal and political life ruined by his attempts to hide his affair with Rielle Hunter and the daughter who resulted from it. Edwards met his mistress, a well-known New York party girl and a part-time spiritualist, while he was running for president in 2007.
I'm so glad you like it.
I like it.
Soon after, he hired her to work as a videographer on his campaign and travel with him.
John Edwards for president.
The once promising Democratic star who ran for president twice and was once the vice presidential nominee now faces an uncertain future. Friends say he is eager to keep his law license so he can practice again, perhaps on behalf of the underprivileged.
I don't think God's through with me. I really believe He thinks there's still some good things I can do.
And waiting for him at home will be his 2 younger children, Emma Claire and Jack, who have lived with him since the death of their mother, Elizabeth, in 2010. His eldest daughter, Kate, 30 years old and recently married, was prepared to care for her younger siblings had her father been sentenced to jail time. Kate has been at his side every day of the trial, and today, before the verdict was read, she leaned to him and said, "Dad, I love you."
She has been here no matter what, no matter how awful and painful. A lot of the evidence was for her. Evidence about her dad, evidence about her mom, who she loves so dearly, but she never once flinched.
It is perhaps Kate, an attorney who now runs a foundation named for her mother, who inspires the most sympathy in the story of a family once held up as the ideal of strength and devotion, now riddled with infidelity and tragedy. Kate Edwards was just 14 when her older brother Wade died in a car accident. In a 2007 interview with Nightline anchor Cynthia McFadden, conducted just after Elizabeth announced her diagnosis of bone cancer, she explained how Wade's death drew her closer to her parents.
I slept in their room for a year and a half, which probably drove them crazy, but made me feel a lot better. Being close to them made me feel, one, like I hadn't lost the family that was around me.
I want to read you something from your mother's book. She writes, "Kate busied herself with making our lives easier, caring for John and me. How many times then and now I have thought of the line from Isaiah, and the little child shall lead them. For we were led by Kate, reminded of joy by Kate, and blessed with Kate."
Well, I mean, I think that's entirely too generous, but
See what I mean?
It was reportedly her mother's dying wish that she stand by her father's side no matter what came in the future.
If something happens to John and to me, under our wills, she has 2 kids. It actually gives me great confidence as I go through this to know that standing behind John and behind me with respect to Emma Claire and Jack is this splendid woman.
And if the trial revealed Kate's strength, it also slowly exposed the true toll the affair had taken on the tightly knit Edwards clan. A parade of former staffers testified, revealing excruciating details of how it all played out. Josh Brumberger was Edwards' young traveling aide and said that he confronted his boss many times about the affair and finally went to senior aides. But then when Edwards found out, he shouted in a profanity-laced tirade, "Why didn't you come to me like a man and tell me to stop?" In another heart-wrenching moment, staffer Christina Reynolds gave a vivid description of how Elizabeth confronted her husband at the Raleigh airport the day after the National Enquirer published its first story about the scandal in October 2007. Elizabeth was very upset, Reynolds testified. She stormed off and collapsed into a ball in the parking lot, eventually shouting at her husband, "You don't see me anymore," as she ripped off her shirt and bra. Before Reynolds' testimony, John Edwards leaned over to his daughter and said, "I don't know what's coming. Do you want to leave?" She did, in tears. There were tears again when Jennifer Palmieri, a close confidant of Elizabeth's, broke down as she remembered her friend's dying days. She didn't want to be alone, Palmieri said, crying. Palmieri also spoke about a key piece of evidence, John Edwards' 2008 interview with me here on Nightline, in which he denied being the father of Rielle Hunter's baby.
A report has been published that the baby of Miss Hunter is your baby. True?
Not true. Not true. Published in a supermarket tabloid. But no, that is absolutely not true.
Palmieri said she told Edwards not to do the interview if he planned to lie. But of course he did. He has since acknowledged that Frances Quinn, now 4, is his daughter. And today, for the first time, he spoke about his relationship with her.
My precious Quinn, who I love more than any of you could ever imagine. And I am so close to and so grateful for.
She is now part of a family that has endured so much, so publicly. For Nightline, I'm Bob Woodruff in Greensboro, North Carolina.